A beautiful morning, and I'm very, very excited to share with you a very wonderful topic. I know this is something that we have not yet ventured into, but today, for the sake of all the people who are new in the business, who have been in the business for a while, who would like to learn a new word, okay? And I would just like us to work together around this. And I want us to see how we can be able to define the word. Over time, I've had people talk about the word stakeholder, okay? Stakeholder. And I would like you to take it to the chat room. And then you define for me in your own understanding what the word stakeholder means, okay? What does the word stakeholder mean? When someone says stakeholder, what comes to your mind? Okay, so I'll just like us to use the chat room. Dr. Eve, Annette, Dr. Kavugo, Gertrude, Esther, Patrick, Cornelius, David Bondi, Dr. Eseza. When someone talks about stakeholder, what goes through your mind? Kindly help me type out in the chat. Francis Okare, have we heard of the word stakeholder? And if we have, what does it mean? Okay, let me check the chat right now. What does the word stakeholder mean in your own understanding? What does this word mean? Because that is going to be our topic for today. And then we are going to learn about stakeholders in your life. Okay, fantastic. Winnie Nalomaga is saying a stakeholder is any person, a group, or an organization that has an interest. Okay, I love the word interest in or is affected by a project, event, or a business or a decision. Okay, fantastic. Any person, Dr. Eve is saying, any person who has a responsibility and a benefit in a particular concern. Fantastic. Okay. David is saying, part of the owner. If you're a stakeholder, you're part of the owner. Okay. So today we are going to learn about a stakeholder and a shareholder, because I think, Bondi, you're talking about a shareholder. Okay. So, Irene Victor, you have a hand in something. I like that. So, if you have a hand in something, I like that's direct translation. Yeah, you have a hand in something, okay? Nachigude Betty is someone who owns a business, okay? I like the fact that all these are coming up, and maybe I'll also share what the word shareholder means. Okay, so Mrs. Senabulia, anyone who is impacted by what your business is doing or who has an interest. Okay, fantastic. Susan, anyone with shares in a business. Okay, fantastic. I like all this. A person with an interest. That means that you actually understand what this word means. A person with an interest or concern with something, especially in a business. Good. A person who owns a share in a business. What comes to my mind is people who are a part of a drive or are responsible for something. Okay. Wow. Any person or organization that has interest or is affected by an outcome of your actions. Great. The beneficiaries, a person having an influence in an activity or an outcome. Fantastic. So all the answers of an adult are correct. And today, I would just like, after what we have understood, after what we have been able to share, can anyone just highlight some of the stakeholders in your life? Okay? Because all your answers are right. Who are the stakeholders in your life? When we talk about stakeholders, who are the stakeholders in your life? What comes to your mind? So just type out, one, because today's training is meant to help us understand who our stakeholders are in your life and what our role is as distributors. We need Williams Katwere. A stakeholder is Williams. Yes, you are a stakeholder. That's true. So let's kindly type out anything that comes to your mind when it gets to who the stakeholder is, okay? Which stakeholders in your life do you know, okay? All of us, okay? Fantastic. Distributors, customers, myself, the members, okay? Distributors are stakeholders, fantastic. Government, okay? Customers, product customers, government, okay? Fantastic. And I'm going to explain to you what every stakeholder here, why they are important, because they can affect your business, because given all the answers that you have written down in the chat, they actually affect your business. So you need to know how to handle your customers. You need to know how to play around with the government. Yeah, because the government can wake up in the morning and they say, you don't have pro-vitality. And I can tell you, if there's, you might not do anything about it. Yeah. Employees of Neolife, okay, that's very good. Yeah, government staff, distributors, customers, founders, and scientific advisory board members. If we didn't have those scientists on board, I'm telling you, probably we may not have, the board members, okay? Yes, the people who sit somewhere in San Francisco and make decisions for us. Yeah, the company, distributors, fantastic. All your answers are correct. Regulatory bodies, yes. Ministry of Agriculture, if they woke up and said, no more Supergrow, maybe we would not have a business. National Drug Authority in Uganda, all those. Dr. SSI saying border carriers. Fantastic. That's true. The founder, the company, the executives. Yes, you are right. All those are our stakeholders. Fantastic. So today, I just wanted to take you through some stakeholders in our business. Yeah. And then the nature of relationship we need to have with them. Okay. Our expectations. What are the expectations with these stakeholders? And by the way, I would just like to highlight the difference between a stakeholder and a shareholder. Like you have said, a stakeholder, okay, a shareholder can actually be a stakeholder. So a shareholder is someone who has shares or somebody who owns the business. So in this case, Mr. Jerry Brasfield is a shareholder, okay? But I also want to say that distributors in this particular business are shareholders. We own part of the business because we own just a piece of what the entire Neolife business is. So what you were saying is actually right, okay? Only that shareholders are part of the stakeholders. So the stakeholders are the wider group of people, and part of the stakeholders, we have the shareholders. So I'd just like to share with you, some of the people or some of the stakeholders that came to mind, and what kind of relationship do we have with them, and how critical is that relationship, and how can we gain their support, okay? Now, all of us on this call are distributors, okay? And we have distributors in our team. So what is the nature of relationship you should have with your distributors? It should be very close, okay? That is why we need to have our distributors on call. We need to attend training with them. We need to do so many things with them, support them, build the business with them, nurture a relationship, remember their children's birthdays. All those things we are supposed to do for our distributors. So the nature of relationship we are supposed to have with our distributors should be a very close relationship. As in, do everything, but make sure that you keep your distributors close. They should feel like, you are part of their lives, yeah? And what are the expectations? What do we expect from our distributors? Number one, we expect our distributors to use the products. So everything that you do should be in line with keeping your distributors close while teaching them how to use the products. You're teaching them how to share the products and testimonies. You should make sure that you are attending training together with them. You are looking for customers with them. Okay, so that is the moment you realize that you're not close to your distributors, that means that you are failing in one way or the other. Maybe one thing that I forgot to tell us at the beginning is the first thing that you need to do, and I want to give us an exercise for this week up until the end, next Friday. Write down your stakeholders one by one. Okay, just like they say in the Bible, count your blessings one by one. Because I've realized that many of us do not know how to relate with our stakeholders, and maybe that's why we are failing. Yesterday, I was in Mukono, and I realized that, some of us as distributors, we get a phone and we call. You go to Mukono, Janet is going to be there. Yes, Janet is going to be there. But what happens thereafter? You need to be involved in your team. You need to sometimes, if you're free, get up, enter the vehicle, go to Mukono, be there. You cannot delegate your business to somebody else. Yesterday, I had quite a number of people calling me. Oh, somebody sent me. Oh, somebody told me to come and see you. Yes, that is okay. But I want you to remember that if you are working with your distributor, you should be on the first line. Never allow your upline to be on the first line. It's just like if you have a child and you're letting your neighbor raise your child, and yet you are actually there. Guess what? You will lose your level of influence. That person will stop believing in you because they'll believe in the person who is always available for them, So you need to gauge what is your level of influence. It is very critical. I don't even know how distributors delegate. Some distributors delegate their responsibility to their upline. They delegate oh my goodness. And then you expect that person to respect you or to work with you very closely. They won't. You lose the power. So remember your stakeholders. Yeah. If you, for example, like we had a meeting at Mukono yesterday. We had the first meeting, the second meeting. You don't show up for your distributors. You're just sending them there. I want to tell you that slowly by slowly, you're losing your influence. And yet this is a very, very critical area. Okay, so what do you need to do to gain their support? Number one, motivate them. Okay, motivate them, give them a call, find out how they're doing, remember their birthdays, And actually, if you notice, the company has us, the distributors, on their stakeholder list. So there are certain things that the company does. Yeah, the first thing they do is organize for us a Rise and Shine, an event opening up the year. Rise and Shine. Guess what? They send Mr. Rico Brown. Yeah, they give us incentives. They do recognition for us. They give us Neo Life Shake. Why? Because they have understood what we call the stakeholder matrix. So even you as a distributor, try to understand the stakeholder matrix. Yeah, some of us are wondering why our businesses are not growing. You have not understood your stakeholders. You do not know the nature of relationship you need to have with them, your expectations, and you have lost your level of influence. So I believe that by the end of this call and next week, we have understood who our stakeholders are and how we are going to engage with them in a proper way in 2025. For as long as you don't understand your stakeholders, you're in trouble, you're in trouble. So the other stakeholder that I would like to talk about briefly is a customer. Now, in the nature of business that we are doing, a customer is king. Yesterday, I was talking to a certain individual and I was telling them the nature of relationship that I have with my customers. Some of these customers, wherever they are, I go get there. If it means kneeling down to greet them, and that is what is going to get money out of their pockets. Well, I will do it. Yeah. Why? Because the day you understand that without that customer, you don't have a business, you will understand how easy or hard it is to make your 100 points. Okay. So what is the nature of relationship you need to have with your customers? Keep it close. Keep it close. And I'll give you a personal example. When I left in 2021 to go and study in the UK, because the nature of relationship that I have with my customers was not close anymore. And it was simply because I wasn't around. So guess what? Some of my customers were actually taken by other distributors, which was not a problem. Why? Because I understood that I could not keep my customers that close. I wasn't paying them visits. I wasn't around generally. So that in itself taught me that, you know what, Janet, you need to keep your customers close, or you need to build a system that is going to keep your customers close. Okay. So what are the expectations? Okay. When we talk about customers, the expectations are we want to keep these customers as repeat customers. We want to make sure that these customers are satisfied, and they are able to refer other people. We want our customers to explore use of other ranges. I was listening to, was it Mr. Mayanja this week, and he was talking about how he got his first customer when he had started the business. And it was very interesting that up to today, so many years down the road, he is able to make over 2,000 personal PVs. Why? Because he has kept his customers close. And I think, in my view, he's one person who understands, or who makes sure that he keeps, he's in touch. He knows the expectations of these customers. And that's why over time, he has built them. He has endeavored to make sure that he nourishes that relationship. And that is why up to today, these people are buying the products. So what is the level of influence? Another thing, critical. Don't delegate your customers to other people. Why? Because fortunately or unfortunately, the nature of business is relational. Okay. We have a personal relationship with our customers. We have a personal relationship with our distributors. So again, I'm in Mokono. Distributor calls their downlines. You go to Mukono, Janet will be there. In fact, you ask her whether she has brought the products. Really? Yeah. Well, I don't have a problem taking your products, but I want to tell you that that person will gain more confidence in having me. That's why many times when our distributors, they come for training, they don't even want to talk to you. Why? Because you have lost control. Your level of influence, has kind of diminished. So make sure that as you do this, you try to see how you can gain that kind of balance. So what can we do to get their support? Communicate with them regularly, follow up, give discounts, remember their birthdays, check on them, pay visits. That is one way you are going to be in position to keep these people with you. Okay. Then other stakeholders in our business, your uplines, your sponsors, directors, world team, president's team members. So what is the nature of relationship you need to have? By the way, let me tell you something very interesting. Whatever happens, just make sure that you keep a good relationship with your sponsors, directors, world team, president's team members. Why? You need them. You need them. You may think that you can do something on your own, but I want to tell you, in the nature of business that we do, you need every single individual here, in one way or the other. Why? Number one, they could inspire your team. Number two, you may need them at month end to help you sort out a critical issue. But you see, if you have already spoiled the relationship with them, it may be very difficult. These are the same people who you're going to ask to come to support you, to support your team, to give out incentives. They're the same people who are going to stand at the front and, share. Yeah. So keep them close. Whatever happens, make sure you nurture the relationship. It's very, very difficult to be in a space where, you're not in good terms with your sponsor, you're not in good terms with your director, you're not in good terms with your world team and president's team member. So what are you going to do? How are you going to keep them engaged? At least, get in touch with them. At least one every 3 days. One person who I think knows how to do this so well is Dr. Kabugo. He is very good at engaging his uplines. He will call you, he will ask you, am I on the right track? What can I do? What do you think? Yeah. Now, I've noticed that individuals like that usually find it easier to build their business than individuals who think, they can do it on their own. So never ever wait for your upline to come to you. Many times, many of us are waiting for upline. What if they never come, and you need your business to grow? So at least make sure that you engage, you call them, get your game plan, take it to them. Times, I've noticed that it may be more difficult for them to look for you. Why? Because they probably have a bigger team to attend to. So the person who is available is the person they will go with. So from now on, I want us to start engaging. If some of these things are things that you haven't been doing as an individual, ensure that you start doing them. 2025 is a year of doing things differently. And if you continue doing exactly what you're doing, chances are very high that you're going to get exactly, the same result that you have been getting in the past. And you see, we are talking about sponsoring 2 people. We are talking about all these nice things. But if you don't understand your stakeholders, if you don't know where to get your help, if you don't know who to contact, if you don't know, chances are very high that you're boxing the air or you're chasing the wind. And we don't want to do that this year because every single day time is going. So now, what what do we expect? Yeah, what is it that these people are going to offer to you? What is their level of influence? One, they're going to inspire your team. I don't know whether you can be in position to inspire your own team yourself. That is why we always come together and synergize. It's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, so that we can be able to inspire each other. I love the fact that in the nature of business that we do, we come together as a team, we inspire, we train together, but when everybody eats, they eat alone. Yeah. Then the other thing is they expose, they help you with the exposure. The other thing is they train you. So in this opportunity, you cannot do this business as an island. Yes, you may try, but you might only go so far. But if you're the kind of person who wants to step up to Ruby Director, go back and write your stakeholders one by one and look for ways that you're going to engage them. I've told you what you need to do in terms of keeping them close, and start writing down some of these things that you are going to do differently that are going to help you manage your stakeholders very well. So the other thing with our uplines, how can you gain their support? Open communication, attend events and training. So this is what happens when I'm working with a team. I have what I call an A team. Now I'm just giving you an example of something that I personally do. So I have what I call an A team. Now I kind of score these individuals and everybody who is on this call, I score. This person attends training, okay? This person attends events, this person does this, and I score. So I have an A team, I have a B team, and I have a C team. I would like to encourage you, strive to see that you get to your uplines A team list. Some of us want to grow the business and we are struggling, but then you're probably on your upline's B or C team. Now, how do you know that you're an A team? You make an effort to go. If somebody's coming to you, they need support. There was a certain young lady yesterday, I think she's called Memory. This lady came to Ginger. She kept on engaging me. She kept on, Janet, I want to do this. Can I invite my friends? I have this. I stay here. Now, whenever I'm going to, sorry, not Ginger, whenever I'm going to Mukono, guess what? She'll be the first person on my mind. Why? Because she has tried to prove herself. She has that open communication. She's available and she wants to grow the business. So very, very importantly, remember that if you want to engage with your upline sponsor, director, world team, make sure these people don't look for you. Make sure you look for them. So the other people in my stakeholder matrix, we are going to do half of it today, and we shall do the other half next Friday. And let me see, I still have very many others, but I think it's important that we go through one by one. So we have a company or company executives, okay? They're stakeholders, and you need to keep a very close relationship. You need to keep a close relationship with Godfrey. Yeah, you need to keep a close relationship. It doesn't matter where you are on this call. Remember, you need to keep. Why? Because these are the people who work hard to make sure the products are available. As we speak in Uganda today, we don't have care. So the first thing that I do, I go and ask Godfrey. So, Godfrey, when do you think care is going to be available? My customers need it, Now, that communication becomes very easy if you have a good relationship with them. If you're the kind of person who enters the warehouse and you're probably screaming and saying, oh God, I don't even understand what's the problem with these people. They, already you are kind of creating some kind of resentment. Yeah, so it becomes very difficult to support you. And remember, the company has put these people there to support us. Okay, so they help us with the company events. That's why we engage with them. We tell them this is how best you can, run do the recognition, they support us, incentives, everything. So the relationship we have with them is very, very critical, and their level of influence is very critical. I'm imagining that if we walked into the warehouse and out of the 11 people, one has come to work, yeah, it would be very, very slow. It would be very difficult to engage. So I want every one of us to go back and look at that. Now, how are we going to win their support? Attend company events, maintain the brand loyalty, be professional as you engage with them. And I think that's very, very important. Now, since our time is fast spent, I would just like to use this opportunity. Yes, 5 liters is available. Yeah, that's true. So even 1 liter is coming today. Yes. So as we close off our training today, I would just like to give all of us here an assignment to go back and sit and write down this week, what are you going to do differently now that you've understood that these are my stakeholders and this is the relationship that I need to have with them. This is how I'm going to work with them. This is how I'm going to do things differently. So next week, we are going to tackle maybe the regulators and what their influence or what their stake is in our business. There is government, there is even media. Some of us are using social media. Let me tell you, social media can just explode your business. We have other network marketing companies. Yeah. So how do you deal with those? We have so many stakeholders, and I like the fact that you have even identified some that I hadn't brought on my list. So this gives me a bit of time to go back and also try and create a stakeholder matrix together, so that next week we can be able to go through all of them. So as we close our training, remember, go back, write down all your stakeholders, and then come up with what you are going to do differently going forward. So thank you very much for logging in this morning, and I look forward to seeing you next Friday with your game plan of how you're going to work with your stakeholders differently. Now that we've learned that they have stake, now that we've learned that there's interest, and they have a say in your business. So thank you very much. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you.